Guys, we all have heard about the hydrogen mission, or we all have heard about the lithium-ion batteries, or maybe we heard about the clean energy or the renewable energy sources. But if we look at the transition from our traditional IC engine or CI engine to the lithium-ion batteries, and then from lithium-ion batteries to the hydrogen fuel, so the ultimate goal of all the scientists and all the community is from shifting from the CI or IC engine, that is petrol or diesel based engine, to the hydrogen based economy or hydrogen based fuels. But this lithium ion batteries and all this battery and supercapacitor domain, it's like a transition region from moving to conventional fuels to the hydrogen fuel. I'm just touching upon the national green hydrogen mission. So India has declared this year the national green hydrogen mission worth of more than 19,000 crore of rupees. So its major aim is to decarbonize India and achieving the net zero vision. I am Vijay Vaishampayan. I'm currently a director of Chematico Technologies Private Limited, and we are involved in the building electrocatalysts for the fuel cell. So these fuel cells are basically working on the hydrogen fuel. We are one of the stakeholder to develop all these technologies. I am also pursuing my doctorate in the chemical engineering from IIT Roper. Today, in this talk, we will see about the background behind this national hydrogen mission. Then we will see about the green hydrogen and its major objectives, what actually this mission stated. Again, we will touch upon the like how government has planned to implement this project in the phased manner, and what are the mission components. Also, we will look into the risk management thing and the mission governance, like how governance will be done to steer this whole hydrogen mission. Again, we will look into the financial outlays and implementation, and finally I will conclude my talk. So we have seen all these news, like fuel cell buses people have used for the Olympic transportation. Like you have, if you can see this, the first news, that is Meet Sora. So this Sora is a hydrogen fuel cell bus they have used in the 2020 Olympic to give the transportation for visitors to different venues. So this hydrogen fuel cell bus basically utilizes the hydrogen fuel, and in the byproduct, it will only give you a clean water. So most of the time in China, whenever people are using these fuel cell buses, or in the US, when people are using these fuel cell buses, they may have given a small bottle of water, which is the byproduct of these fuel cells. Again, we have seen news regarding the hydrogen taxi cabs. They were operated in the London from 2012 Olympic Games. Again, there were few Winter Olympic Games which were held in the Beijing. So they have also used the hydrogen fuel cell cars and buses. So by looking at all these news, we can just make a sense like hydrogen is a universal fuel, right? We can use it anywhere to fuel the any source, or maybe the mobility solutions, or the high or extra sturdy long haul mobility solutions. Again, this hydrogen is a key clean and secure energy for the power vehicles. Also, if we see, it only emits the water vapor, or if we cool down this water vapor, we will get the purest form of water. Again, it will give you the fast turnaround time. So if we look at our Indian scenario, so India is not so far behind to implement these technologies. Like in 2022, like last year, India has already uh, uh, India has already launched the first fuel cell hydrogen fuel cell bus. So it was developed by the Sentinel Labs. So this is a Sentinel lab is working with the KPIT technologies, or KPIT company is there in the Pune. So they have basically developed this made in India hydrogen fuel cell bus. And our honorable science and technology minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, so he has inaugurated this fuel cell bus. Again, India's first hydrogen train to be powered by Ballard. So the Indian Railway has already awarded the contract to Medha Servo Drives, which is Hyderabad-based company, to retrofit one of the diesel-based electrical engine uh, uh, on the hydrogen to the hydrogen-based electrical engine. So it was planned for 89 kilometer from Sonipat to Jind section, and this whole project is worth of 2 point like this whole project. By implementing this project, the Indian Railway can save 2.3 crore of rupees yearly by switching just from the diesel to hydrogen. Again, if we look at the things, so like the Cochin Shipyard Limited, so they have developed and built first indigenized hydrogen fuel cell vessel as a part of their efforts into the green shipping. So basically, the if we look at the shipping or the water transport scenario, so all the ships and all the cruises, they are having the heavy duty applications. So hydrogen can be the best fuel to fuel these kind of extra sturdy and like high output machineries in the shipping industries. So again, they will become a partner with KPIT, who has developed hydrogen first hydrogen fuel cell bus for India. So they will work closely to develop this fuel cell vessel. And if you look at the energy storage devices, so you can see like there is a specific power and there is specific energy. So this particular plot, it is known as the Regon plot. Okay. And if we look at the fuel cells, so fuel cells are having the highest specific energy as compared to other all electrochemical energy storage devices. That's why it will be the better source for the future mobility. It will be the better source for future energy demands. So this is basically a working of PEM fuel cell, that is proton exchange membrane fuel cell. This is a very famous type of a fuel cell. So this hydrogen fuel will come from one end, and the oxygen will be taken from the air. So inside this chamber, there are different layers of gas diffusion layer. Then catalyst layer is there. Again, proton exchange membrane is there. So the function of this proton exchange membrane is to just transport the hydrogen ions from anodic side to cathodic side, and these electrons will go from the top. So if you can see, when electrons will go from the top, uh, due to this electron flow, there will be a generation of electricity. And when these electrons will come on the other side at the cathode, so they will again combine with the oxygen from air and the hydrogen ion, and again it will form the byproduct as the pure water vapor. So, like India's deep commitment to aspirational climate goals have been widely acknowledged in the Committee of Nations, right? So, our achievements have made our matched with our ambitions, and India has the fastest growing renewable energy capacity in the world. So, it has emerged as one of the most attractive destination for investment in renewables, as India has set up its site to become the energy independent by 2047, and achieving the net zero by 2070. So, like India has planned to achieve the net zero by 2070. Right. Again, in the COP26, which was held in the Glasgow in 2021, so our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Ji Modi, he has committed the things, right? So he has dreamed for India, like we can achieve the net zero by 2017. Again, we can reduce the total projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton. Just look at this number, 1 billion ton, starting from 2021 till 2030. Also, he has planned to increase the renewable energy component to 50%. Like the India's having total installed capacity. So India, so by 2030, government is planning to take the 50% of its chunk from the renewable energy sources. Again, government has planned to reduce the carbon intensity by 45% by 2030, and again increasing the non-fossil energy capacity to reach 500 gigawatt. So this is very giant number, 500 gigawatt. And if we look at the National Hydrogen Mission, so National Hydrogen Mission is aimed to provide a comprehensive action plan for establishing a green hydrogen ecosystem and catalyzing a systematic response to the opportunities and challenges, uh, for the future need. Again, like if you look at the numbers, so this India is currently importing 40% of its primary energy requirement. So it is worth of something around 90 to 100 billion US dollars every year. And the major sectors for utilizing these energies are like a mobility sector, then again the industrial production and the industrial activity sectors. So by achieving this national green hydrogen mission, India can become the import substitute, give the import substitute for this a huge chunk of 90 billion USD's import of the energy materials. Again, if you see the type of hydrogens, so basically these are the few categorization of the hydrogens. Like if we use the natural gas as a feed to generate the hydrogen, then we can call that hydrogen as a gray hydrogen. If we look at natural gas, but if we use the process of steam reforming along with the carbon capture, so that hydrogen will be known as a blue hydrogen. And what is green hydrogen? Like our main interest will be in the green hydrogen. So this green hydrogen will utilize the renewable energies to convert the water into the hydrogen fuel by using the electrolysis process. So electrolysis is a process of water splitting where hydrogen and oxygen will be separated from the both cathode and anodic region. Again, if we look at the other source, like is that is the black hydrogen. So if we use the coal material and by using the gasification reactions, we can get the black hydrogen. But the interest of all the scientists over the globe is lies with the green hydrogen. So we will just look why only green hydrogen, right? It is very intriguing question, like why we want to focus on green hydrogen. So if we see, so this green hydrogen, so that is produced using the renewable energies, and it has capacity or it has potential to play a key role in such low carbon and self-reliant economic pathways, right? So this green hydrogen can enable the utilization of domestic abundant renewable energy resources across all the region, across all the seasons, across all the sectors, and it can feed the multiple user streams, like either as a fuel or as an industrial feedstock for the further processing. Again, it will directly replace the fossil fuels, right, in the petroleum refineries, again in the fertilizer production or in the steel production plants. So if you look at this green hydrogen process, so there will be a renewable electricity generation. It may be by using the solar panels or our wind energy, like by using turbines. So that renewable energy, it will provided to the electrolyzer. So basically this electrolyzer, it will convert the water into the hydrogen and oxygen, right? So you can just see the second block is a transformer. So it will provide this produced renewable electrical energy to the H2 electrolyzer. H2 electrolyzer stands for hydrogen electrolyzers. So from one end hydrogen will come out, and from another end oxygen will come out. So this produce hydrogen, so we can distribute and we can store this hydrogen in number of ways. Like there will be a tube tunnels, or there will be tanks where we can, or maybe a gas hydrates where we can store this hydrogen. And after utilizing this hydrogen for multiple applications, like for industries or for mobility applications or for the shipping applications, so we can achieve the net zero emissions, right? That is our the ultimate target of India. So what are the mission objectives? So like 1 year back when this mission was announced from the Red Fort on the 15th of August. So our honorable Prime Minister, he has made it clear, like we have to make India global hub for green hydrogen production and its export in this particular Amrit Kal, which we are calling as a 75 years of the independence. So like in this Amrit Kal, we have to become a global hub for green energy or green hydrogen production and their export. Also, this will not only help India to make the new process in the field of energy self-reliance, but also it will also become a new inspiration for clean energy transition all over the world. Like India is already leading the International Solar Alliance, that is ISA. So its headquarters is in our Gurugram. So it has connected with the I guess 120 odd countries. Like they all have come together, and India is leading that particular alliance of all these countries to become the solar independent countries. Like we can utilize the solar energy, we can exploit the sources, we can make the sources of solar energies by doing so many things, like by implementing the solar panels, by using the solar captures. Again, there are few other techniques. And this for this particular green hydrogen mission, so our union cabinet approves the following deliverables. Like at least we have to make produce the 5 mmt, that is million metric ton, 5 million metric ton of green hydrogen, that is for the annual production. Again, we have to exploit the technology, or we have to make a disruption in the technologies to make the 60 to 100 gigawatt of electrolyzer capacities, right? So this is a very big chunk they have proposed. Like 100 gigawatt is a tremendous power, right? And again, they have proposed like 125 gigawatt of renewable energy capacities from the green hydrogen generation and associated transmission networks. So this whole total project outlay approved by the Union Cabinet Minister, it was worth of rupees 19,744 crores, right? And after implementing all these projects, or after achieving all these objectives, what India will get? So India will save 1 lakh crore of imports, right, which is spending on the energy materials, or energy imports, or the fuel imports. Again, 50 mmt of CO2 annual emission will be averted. And again, this particular green hydrogen economy, it will create directly and indirectly 6 lakh jobs, right? And there will be a investment of 8 lakh of crore rupees in this particular project. So if you look at the major players, like Adani Power is there, or the Reliance is there, so they have already demonstrating these type of hydrogen fuel cell technologies, or the hydrogen based electrolyzer technologies in their plants. Like recently during one of the expo, Reliance has also become one of the key giant player in this industry, and they have also inaugurated the fuel cell bus, which is developed by the Reliance. So if we look at the financial outlay, so this financial outlay basically, we have seen that it government has approved the 19,744 crore rupees. And if you look at the amount, so government has given 89% of amount on this project site. So what is this site? So this site is a strategic interventions for green hydrogen transition, right? So which is targeted towards the domestic electrolyzer manufacturing and green hydrogen production. Because India is not matured in the case of electrolyzer technologies, it is still in the nascent stage. So government has to spend a lot of amount to make the robust electrolyzer technologies, which can deliver this 60 to 100 gigawatt of hydrogen production, or the energy production. Again, they have proposed the 2% for a basic R&D. And whenever there will be a huge production of hydrogen, government has also intended to provide some costing for the project pilot projects. It is based on the pilot projects, maybe of the fertilizer production, or maybe a pilot projects for the mobility, or the shipping projects. So they have allocated the particular funds, right? So if we look at the risk management, so just look at this table. So they have given the type of risks. So there are four different type of risks associated with this green hydrogen mission. So particularly the first risk is the strategic risk. So strategic risk is like a supply chain disruption in the critical inputs. Again, like how we can mitigate, so we can diversify the supply chain routes. So we should not be dependent on particularly only a single supply chain mechanism, but we can diversify the mechanisms to become the free from the strategic risks. Again, the second one is the technological risk. So this technological disruption or intervention is much needed in the case of electrolyzers and the hydrogen production. So how we can mitigate these technological risks? So we can fund multiple R&D projects and the pilot projects. Also, there should be a collaborative platform between industry, academia, and startups. So like in IIT Roper also, many industries are interacting with the academic professors and academic people, so they can engage in the hydrogen production or electrolyzer development or the fuel cell development, basically. Because whenever there will be a production of hydrogen, someone has to create some applications to utilize this hydrogen, right? This should not be the game of a single night where we can produce the hydrogen and utilize it for some a random application. There should be a proper supply chain thing, and there should be proper technology demonstration to utilize the produced hydrogen. Again, the third risk will be a project level risk or the operational risk. So for the green hydrogen production, there should be a land availability, then water availability. Again, there are some safety concerns available. So to produce the hydrogen, so like there should be a highest purity of water is needed. So we have to optimize the locations, like where we can get this such type of water and where we can set up the plants to purify these things. Again, we will require a land near the banks, nearby the banks, to get the water availability faster. So there are few safety concerns related to the storage of hydrogen, and again the transportation of hydrogen as well. But during like the implementation of project, I hope these all concern will take its note, and they will be resolved. And again, there will be a risk related to financial and market risks. So this financial or market risks, they are also categorized into several things, like there should be a sustainable demand for the produced hydrogen. Again, there will be a affordability for the renewable energies. Like we have seen, like people are reluctant to use the solar material, solar panels. Why? Because of the capital cost of the solar panel, or the implementation of solar based projects will be a higher, but they will give you return consecutively, but the initial cost will be higher. So likewise, people are so reluctant to use a new technology. Like whenever lithium ion batteries or the battery vehicles came, so government has to make the scheme to provide or to make the use of these lithium ion batteries. So FAME 1 and FAME 2, what government has implemented, so those two schemes, they have given a subsidy to the customers to buy more and more electric vehicle. So government is doing a lot of efforts. Now it's a chance to people to show their responsibility towards the nation. Again, if we see the mission governance framework, so there are different ministries involved, right? So there will be an integrated mission strategy, and this mission governance will require strong coordination between all the ministries, right? There are so many ministries and has involved. So if we look at the empowered group, So this empowered group will be responsible for the overall implementation of mission objectives. So we have seen the mission objectives like 5 MMT of the green hydrogen production, then again 60 to 100 gigawatt of energy generation. So this particular empowered group will be responsible to get these things done. Okay, so this empowered group will be chaired by the cabinet secretary, and there will be a members from different ministries, again from the scientific PSA, that is Principal Scientific Advisor Office to the Government of India, again CEO of Niti Aayog, and different secretaries of the ministries will be there. So what basically these ministries role it is, so these ministries will be involved in the deeper technological demonstration or the utilization of this green hydrogen. So if we look at the MNRE, that is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, so it is responsible for overall coordination and implementation of this particular mission, and the mission secretariat headquarter in the MNRE, and that will formulate the scheme and programs for the financial incentives to support the production activities, to support the utilization and the export of green hydrogen and their derivatives, right? Then the ministries will ensure the planned deployment of renewable energies and green hydrogen capacities. Also, they will support the pilot and R&D projects. They will undertake the capacity building programs. Also, they will promote the international cooperation efforts between the ministries and intergovernmental panels. The second one is the Ministry of Power, right? So this Ministry of Power will implement these policies related to hydrogen, and they will make the regulations to ensure the delivery of the renewable energy for the green hydrogen production at the least possible cost, right? So this Ministry of Power is more into the transmission or the transition from a produced state or the produced site to the application site. So they will implement this distribution and the implementation things. Again, if we look at the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, so they will facilitate the uptake of green hydrogen in the refineries and the city gas distribution pipelines. So in the Gujarat, few gas networks are there. So they have already implemented the things, and they have started the mixing of this hydrogen fuel into their gas pipelines. So this is one of the very nice initiative they have taken. So this Ministry of Petroleum will also enable development and facilitation of regulations through the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulation Board, that is PMGRB. Again, if we look at the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, so chemical and fertilizers, this ministry particularly will encourage to adoption of indigenous green ammonia based fertilizers. So we all know to produce the ammonia, we will require the hydrogen. So the major chunk of hydrogen can be utilized in the ammonia production, which can be use this green hydrogen, so that they can earn the carbon credit, they can reduce the carbon pollution, which is right now causing due to the conventional fuels use. Again, if you look at the Ministry of Road and Transport, so their main aim will be to enable the adoption of green hydrogen in the transportation sector through various standards or through various codes or regulation, and they can be like suggest the industries to how they can use the green hydrogen for the heavy commercial vehicle or the long haul operations, right? Again, Ministry of Steel will drive the adoption of green hydrogen in the steel sector, and ministry will identify and facilitate the pilot projects for the use of green hydrogen in steel production, and they can also undertake the policy measures to accelerate the commercial production of green hydrogen. Along with all these ministries, there will be advisory groups. So what these advisory groups will give, they will provide the guidelines for the implementation of these projects. So that is chaired by the honorable PSA to the government of India, and there will be expert from academic institutes or the research institutes or some of the key and prominent industries and from the civil societies. right? The civil societies will also one of the key stakeholder in this mission, because ultimately a common people have to use this technology. So how people will take up the things, or how we can persuade these things, that will uh, m- majorly depend on the role of civil societies. So the mission secretariat will be at MNRE, and it was headed by the mission directors. So if we look at the phased manner, so like considering the nascent status of the this hydrogen sector in India, and whenever industries are rapidly evolving, so this mission is proposed to implement in the phased manner by focusing initially on the deployment of green hydrogen in sectors such as already whenever hydrogen is already used, like the transportation sector is there, or other R&D activities are there. So the major thrust areas in each phase are different. So like from 2022 to 23 till 25-26, so there are four different activities. Like there should be an increased demand while enabling the sufficient supply of the electrolyzer manufacturing. So India is like heavily investing and heavily doing research on the electrolyzers, or the to produce the hydrogen, green hydrogen. Then also in the first phase they will lay the foundation for upcoming energy transition with the challenges in the industries, challenging industries, by providing sufficient and essential R&D. Again, they're planning to make the pilot project to start the transition from green steel production, again long distance heavy duty transportation and other shipments. Also, if we look at the last objective of phase one, so they will do the establishment of legislative and policy framework to support the overall growth of the green hydrogen in the market, right? And in the phase two, so they will focus majorly on the scaling up of the production of green hydrogen to meet the growing demand from industries and other sector. And also they will undertake the pilot projects like railways or aviations, and scaling up the R&D activities, right? So this phase one will be more focus on like they will enable the supply chain things. Again, they will heavily focus on the green hydrogen production. So if we look at the a detailed scenario for this phase approach, so currently we are in year 23 and 24. So for the green fertilization, so they have they can issue a notification for bids, and they will award some capacities to the different fertilizer production to uptake the green hydrogen, to use this green hydrogen for the production of green ammonia, right? Again, for pilot and hubs, so they have called for the proposal for phase one implementation. So currently, India is planning to set up its hydrogen valley projects. So government has already called for the proposals, and many academic institutions, they have submitted the proposals for this green hydrogen mission. Again, if we look at the R&D, so the same, like they have called for proposals during this year and the next year, and they will give a lot of projects related to electrolyzer development and overall uh, to set up the hydrogen valleys inside the India, right? Again, if you look at the categories, so during the mission implementation, there are different categories of regulation and standards. Like there are no very clear regulations or standards related to the filling of hydrogen, or the you can see a tube tunnel of the hydrogens, or the tube tanks of hydrogen. So the all the regulations which are applicable for the gas cylinders, so like they can be applicable for the storage of hydrogen, but there should be a necessary changes inside the policies. Again, if we see the mission components, there will be different categorizations related to demand creation, then incentivizing supply, and the key enablers, right? So if we look at the demand creation, So we have to create the demand so that we can export the things, or we can export the green produced hydrogen. Again, by doing the demand creation, there will be we are substituting the imports of fossil fuels and the fertilizers which we are importing nowadays. Again, we have to increase the domestic demand, so by using it for the multiple sectors means the mobility sector, again the industrial sector, again the feedstock for different chemical and the petroleum industries. So all these things come under the this demand creation. Also, the global energy demand is for 100 million metric ton of green hydrogen and its derivative by 2030, and many countries are likely to rely on the imports due to constraints on lands and renewable energy sources. So, aiming to about 10% of the global market. So, India is having tremendous opportunity to potentially export this green hydrogen. Again, the second one is if we look at the domestic market, so 5 million metric ton of gray hydrogen it is consumed by the ammonia production currently. So we can replace the whole 5 mmt by using this green hydrogen. Again, if we see the incentivizing supply, so there should be a strategic interventions for the green hydrogen transition. Like financial interventions should be needed for the electrolyzer manufacturing. Like we don't have any a big player for the electrolyzing manufacturing in the electrolyzer manufacturing sector, who is having the a mature technology to produce the green hydrogen. Again, if we look at the key enablers, so there will be a resources enablers related to a finance or the banking and storage and transportation things. Again, if we look at the R&D activities, then these R&D activities should be more into the research or result oriented and time bound activities. Like it should be on the mission mode projects, so that we can implement all these things in the stipulated time. Again, if you look at the ease of doing business, then there should be a special economic zones wherever these green hydrogens are being used. Again, they should get some of the relaxation in the taxation, and there should be a skill development and public awareness regarding the use of green hydrogen. Because many people have told, or many people are saying, if we are carrying a cylinder of hydrogen, then it is kind of a bomb, but it is not the case, right? So we have to make the clear distinction between what is good for people and what is not. They should get the proper education regarding the skill sets required and the technology what we are dealing the green hydrogen technology. Again, if we look at the Kerala's efforts, so Kerala become the one of the first state who drafted the roadmap for green hydrogen manufacturing along with the government of India. So they are initiated talks with the different petroleum refinery companies, like Indian Oil Corporation is there. Then again BPCL is there, GAIL is there. Again, Air Products USA is there for producing the green hydrogen from the Cochin International Airport. And hydrogen, these produced hydrogen will be used in running the Cochin metro feeder buses. So there are buses present for the Kochi metro, so they can use this produced hydrogen to feed the buses for Kochi metro. Again, these are few challenges for the green hydrogen. Like there is a lack of infrastructure currently in the production and storage or distribution side. Again, there is a high production cost related to the green hydrogen, as people are using different precious metals as a catalyst in the electrolyzers. So the cost or the production cost is huge at this moment. uh, Due to that point, the much research is needed in the electrolyzer development. Again, due to lack of awareness and understanding of the green hydrogen among the public, so there is a limited adoption of this technology right now. That's why the public awareness section has added in the policy. Again, If we look at the challenge, then extraction of this green hydrogen is the biggest challenge facing by the industries, because whenever we are using the fuel sources, different fuel sources, so we are getting gray hydrogen or the blue hydrogen. But we should use the electrolyzer technology only to make the green hydrogen. And by using the renewable energy sources, we can achieve that. So these are the few challenges which we had discussed, like liquefaction of hydrogen containers is the channel. Again, CO2 free hydrogen is one of the challenge. Again, the liquefaction inside the floating plants, that is the affordable utilization of the of water bodies. But the much research is needed to develop such fascinating technologies, right? So, if we look at the summary of all this green hydrogen mission or the national hydrogen mission, so like why India started this mission? So we have to create one new hydrogen-based economy. So we were first the coal-based economy. Again, we have utilized the petroleum sector and we have exploited so many things in the petroleum. So, this IOCL or BPCL or HPCL, so many petroleum refineries are there, right? So they are having MMT tons of the capacity, right? So likewise, we have to shift from the conventional fuels to the green hydrogen fuel. Again, global, we should become a global hub for hydrogen production, and we have to export this hydrogen to different countries. We have to use this hydrogen for different chemical industries for manufacturing a green ammonia or the other fertilizers. Again, we can use this green hydrogen to derive the synthetic fuels. Again, like we can use this green hydrogen for the long range heavy duty mobility applications or the energy storage and shipping applications, and fuel cell development for the stationary storages. Like there are so many buses or so many stationary applications are there where we can implement the fuel cell technology. So after utilizing all these things, we can uh, we can make good use of the a green hydrogen, and we can become a self-reliant and self-sufficient basically in the hydrogen production and its utilization. It will save a government's huge amount. It will give you a carbon credits. It will be a sustainable source of energy for our sustainable development goals. So, like with this, I will finish my talk. Thanks.